Hello zusammen, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are all having a good day so far. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Diana and I make videos all about my life living in Berlin, Germany, and I like to talk about the German culture, my experiences here. So if you are interested in that, definitely make sure to stick around. Now for today's video, I'm excited to talk about the differences between Germany versus Canada. And this has been a long time coming. For those of you who don't know, I am from Canada. I was born and raised in Toronto, and I actually just got back from a 2-week trip from being there and spending some time with family and friends, and I've noticed a lot of things. So I have some things to talk about, some things to compare now that I actually have been living in Germany for almost 3 years. Let's go, guys. Let's do this. So one of the first things I wanted to talk about is parenting styles, and I do think that there are different parenting styles in Germany versus Canada. Now, I myself am not a parent, but I have grown up around kids my whole life. I have a lot of cousins, and a lot of my friends have babies now, so I've noticed a lot of things, and I'm also quite observant when I just go out into the world. So I've picked up on how a lot of parents act here in Germany. So one of the things that I've noticed is that in Canada, parents are a bit more controlling and micromanaging of their children. For instance, at the park, you'll notice that the parents really watch their kids very intensely. They watch their every move. You know, they're very weary of their kids picking up germs from another kid, getting dirty or getting hurt. So they are watched quite closely. Whereas in Germany, that's not the case. I've seen that so many parents are very chill when they take their kids to the park. They just sit on a bench and maybe talk to other parents, but they're not watching their kids super close. I find that in Germany, kids have a bit more freedom. So at the park, for instance, you'll see kids climbing trees, playing a bit more roughly, getting dirty, walking barefoot. And I feel like if that happened in Canada, another parent would definitely call child services or complain or make some sort of big deal if they saw this happening. So yeah, that is definitely quite different. Also, I've noticed that in Germany, it's very common to see groups of kids hanging out together in the neighborhood, riding their bikes, playing outside without the parent supervision, which is definitely not the case in Canada. Again, you won't really see kids playing outside in the neighborhood. Yeah, it's just not seen at all. And I do like the German approach here a bit more because it does allow for more freedom, and I think overall it helps kids get a lot more street smart and will help them as they get older and just get out into the real world. So yeah, maybe I will take a similar approach if I ever decide to have kids. But so far I do like the German approach on this one. Now, the second thing I wanted to talk about is healthcare. And healthcare is something that Canadians are very proud about because we actually have free universal healthcare for every single Canadian citizen. So it's not something that I ever had to think about growing up. I never had to think about paying for health insurance or being worried that if something happened to me or my family members that we wouldn't be able to get coverage. So it's definitely something that I took for granted growing up over there. It was just always accessible to me. And now that I live in Germany and free healthcare is not a thing, it's definitely something that I am much more conscious of. So in Germany, you do have to pay for health insurance, and there's private and public health insurance, so you can pick and choose which one you want. So yeah, now that I'm paying out of pocket every single month for my health insurance, I definitely notice it. Now, despite the fact that you do have to pay for healthcare in Germany, I think the prices are still quite reasonable. It's not something that you're gonna have to go bankrupt for or have to struggle to pay every single month. So I still feel lucky, of course, that at least I live in a country that has good health insurance and makes it as accessible as possible to everybody. But of course, it is nice to have free health insurance in Canada. So the third thing I wanted to talk about is alcohol. And in Canada, they have very strict laws when it comes to alcohol consumption that different from Germany. So for instance, in Canada, you have to be 19 years or older to purchase and consume alcohol legally, with the exception of 3 provinces, which include Quebec, which is the French-speaking province, where you have to be just 18 years or older to purchase or consume alcohol. In Germany, this is different. If you are 16 years or older, you are able to drink beer and wine with no problem. Otherwise, if you want to drink all other types of alcohol or hard liquor, you do have to be 18 years or older. So besides the legal age that is different, what's also different is where you are able to purchase alcohol. So for instance, in Canada, provinces have jurisdiction over the alcohol and how it is sold. So for instance, I am from Toronto, which is in the province of Ontario. And in Ontario, we have special stores called the LCBO, or the beer store, where you are able to purchase alcohol. And these will be the only places where you can purchase it. These places are very strict. So actually, when I was there last, I went with Josh to the LCBO and we were gonna buy some alcohol for a party, and Josh had forgot his ID at home. So I said, don't worry, I'll go ahead and pay for it. So in case they ID me, we'll have no problem. And we went up to the cashier, and of course she asked for the ID. And not only did she ask for my ID, but she also asked for his. And I said, oh no, he doesn't have it, but I'm buying it. And she said, no way. He touched the beer as he was placing it on to the till. So that means he also has to show his ID, and now you guys can no longer buy beer or any type of alcohol from this store today. So she took away all of our stuff and we were not able to buy anything. And I thought that this was quite ridiculous. In Germany, you're able to buy alcohol at the grocery store, and I've never been ID'd here. And it's much more relaxed when it comes to drinking. You can drink outside, which is also something you can't do in Canada. So yeah, Canadians are definitely very, very uptight when it comes to this. I don't know why. I think this just makes a bigger deal out of nothing and leads to a lot more underage drinking. So I think they need to loosen it up when it comes to these restrictions. And then lastly, let's talk about nudity and sex. Gonna keep this quite brief, but I find that Germans have a much more relaxed approach when it comes to talking about these topics, whereas in Canada, it's still much more taboo and people are a bit more uptight and uncomfortable when it comes to discussing this. I've noticed that in Germany, people sunbathe in the nude. I've talked about this before. You can find people in certain areas of the park, barbecuing in the nude. You'll see, magazines for teenagers that have naked people in them just on the display stands that any teenager could buy. And that is definitely not the case in Canada. If someone were to sunbathe in the nude in Canada, if it wasn't a designated nudist beach, it would be such a big deal. They would be arrested. They would make the front of the news or the front cover of the news. They would be all over the place and it would be mayhem. Honestly, people would freak out. So the fact that it is much more free here and people don't make a big deal out of it is definitely something that took some getting used to for me. But now it's just like, whatever, it's so normal, not even fazed by it. And I think it should be this way because it is so normal, it's just how we are. So let's just be free and relax when it comes to it. So yeah, that is pretty much all that I wanted to talk about today. Some of those differences between Canada and Germany. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and let me know what sort of videos you would like to see in the comments down below. But that's going to be all. I hope that you guys have an awesome day, and I will talk to you all next week. Tschüss!